Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Jim Dar's Tone Shifter channel, where we show you how to take any guitar and make it sound and play better. So join me in the Guitar Cabin, our musical sanctuary from day-to-day life, as we explore another really cool guitar project. I'm excited. Let's get to it.
Well, welcome back. After a lot of sanding,
I started with 80 grit, went up to 120, 220, and then went to 320. Once I've gotten all of the swirl marks out and the back and sides all level, smooth rounded curves, I applied water to raise the grain. This is done so when I hit it with a spray coat later on, it doesn't fuzz up into the actual finish itself.
a lot of sanding up to 320 grit paper. Then I stained it with penetrating stains that would bleed back up into the finish as I applied the lacquer. Then I put a couple flash coats of lacquer on. That's very thin lacquer to fill the pores and act as a sanding sealer. I prefer that over a sanding sealer, although a sanding sealer would be quicker. So after I did that, I used a pore filler, and I used a different type of pore filler than I used to use. I used a water-based rather than an oil-based filler, and it seemed to get good results. And then I put brown black here to match this, and I had a brown red combination. I was trying to create a black cherry type finish for the back. Because the back has been changed, I wanted to make sure I didn't do it in the original colors, but I wanted to do it in a color that would actually reflect more of a modern take on finishes. So you've got the traditional look, which is the original finish. Then you've got the back with the curved part right here. Hang on, I'm always looking for this, aren't I? But it's in my hand. With the curved part here for the neck. And then, as I said, black cherry here. And I made it a little lighter right here, just so we can see the original serial number.
Preserving the original serial number is very important, especially on a guitar that might be a valuable piece.
And in case that wasn't legible, I put the serial number in here with a black marker and sprayed some clear coats over it. So what's next? Well, gotta wet sand this, take it out, put a tint coat on. Then immediately following the tint coat, after it dries sufficiently, I will put some clear build coats on, and I'll do that maybe about 4 or 5 coats. May sand in between, or may wait, depends on how this sanding goes. Now I have to level and sand now to prepare for the tint coat, and I've got an area right in here where that elevator plate is. It just wasn't taking the stain, so I had to spray with some opaque and kind of blend it in, and I need to do that a little bit more before I put the tint coat on. Then I'll tint all over it. So anyway, today's message is pretty brief, but I do have a question I'd like to pose. What shall we call this guitar once it's done? What names can you come up with that are clever and talk to the story and still be something that would be unique? Like, I can't really call it a 1974 Les Paul Special 55 because it is that, but it's now something more. So a 55 plus.
Or call it something else, old and new. I'm not sure, but here are a couple of close-ups of the guitar as the changes we've made can be clearly obvious. And remember, it still needs more top coats, leveling and smoothing. And I'm not sure if I'm going to distress the back or not to match the patina and flaws that we have on the front of the guitar, which are all original. But give me your suggestions for names, and also give me suggestions whether or not I should distress the back. I would really appreciate your input.
That's where we're at. Everything's looking good. I took measurements. I told you I'd do that. At the first fret, which should be right there, it's 0.876. At the 12th fret, the depth of the neck is 1.054. So that's a nice chunky feel. Able to recover that. It actually looks very nice. So anyway, take a look at some shots.
Here's my new respirator, getting it fitted for me. It seems to work out fine. And here's just some various pics of the process as I'm going through them. Taping the top and fingerboard off, the close-up of the neck heel joint, the transparency or translucency, I should say, of the neck and the back. That's the pore filler that I used. That was the water-based pore filler. So we'll see how it all comes out.
Then we're just going to close out and say thanks so much. Please share, please like, please comment, please subscribe, ring the bell, be safe, be kind, learn something new every day. Thanks.
And don't forget, we make pickups.